Dear boomers, are you an optimist? And did you know that it doesn't matter whether you have been mostly an optimist or mostly a pessimist, you can learn to be an optimist. And it's very important to try to do this, to actually do it, because people around you need that kind of upliftance. You need that kind of upliftance. So the first item in the Optimist Creed is to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. The Optimist Creed was written originally in the form of a book called Your Forces and How to Use Them by the author Christian D. Larson. So don't let anything disturb your peace of mind. That's really a universal truth. So in order for me to have done that, over the last few days, I turned off the mainstream. I've turned off news completely. The way people are panicking about what's going on in this political arena, and I can be easily drawn into it. So I have turned off the news. So when we go out into the world, and if I choose to get involved in the election coming up, it's my responsibility to talk only health, to talk only happiness, and to talk prosperity to everyone I meet. I have noticed that people in the Democratic Party, and this today is no exception, they really are shooting themselves in the foot by demanding that Joe Biden step down. That is just so disgusting. But they've always done this. It's always been true that they always seem to, they look underneath all of the grandiose stuff that happens in politics, and they use it as an excuse to not take action on positivity, on, working for the good of the people. So we want to make sure all of our friends and acquaintances feel that there's something worthwhile in them. That's very important. Always call out the good and always strengthen other people's confidence. We have to look at the sunny side of everything, like a Pollyanna. Pollyanna was actually a spiritual warrior. And when she walked into negative situations, and she was extremely uplifting to the people that she met and the most negative people that she was having to live with, like her aunt. The fact is that she turned everybody around with her attitude. But I noticed that she did get sick herself because she was kind of letting the black slime of negativity go all over herself. So think only the best in this best of all possible worlds, and only work for the best, and only expect the best. And to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own success. And it's very important to forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. And in fact, just completely forget about the past. We need to, from our hearts, draw the beautiful future to us in a state of gratitude. And and of course we do know that we are only human. Being human means that we're going to fall prey to certain negativity. We're going to fall prey to limiting beliefs. And it is our responsibility to dig into the belief banks of our psyche and weed out the beliefs that are holding us back, the false beliefs. I have just started an email series for my boomer friends, and it has to do with helping them to get involved in affiliate marketing. And the emails that I have sent are specifically to help people break down the barriers of limiting beliefs and going forward with positive beliefs. That's the only way entrepreneurs can be successful. That's the only way business becomes successful, when we absolutely work on our own false beliefs. The mind, the brain, only knows what it is that you are imagining. Your imagination opens up the brain to the potentials of the life that you deserve to live. To wear a cheerful expression at all times and give a smile to every living creature you meet. And that would be every creature, every dog, every cat, every bird. We have a lot of birds out here. I don't really see too many people because I'm in this house in this heat that's very hot and hang out with my canine companions. So I am very kind to them. I do not let the irritation of some of their antics get on my nerves. But normally they are into a harmony state of mind. They are my harmony barometers. That's what my dogs are. And if you allow your dogs to be your harmony barometer, it becomes so much easier to be an optimistic person, because we're living with the most beautiful creatures on earth. So we have to give so much time to improving ourselves that there's no time to criticize others. So yes, that's a good point. There's no room to criticize anybody else as long as we are concentrating on becoming the best human possible on this earth. I do anticipate getting involved with other people when this Republican convention ends and it's time to get to work to make sure that women's rights are not destroyed, that racial justice is still upheld. We have to really concentrate on the justice of all, and that is what the Democratic Party stands for. But right now, they are shooting themselves in the foot by demanding that Joe Biden step down. That is wrong. They're feeding into the media frenzy, and it's absurd. It really is. So when I do meet with these Democrats, I will be everything that I just said here. I'm not going to get involved in a bunch of negative thinking about Trump being elected as a dictator. I'm just not. So be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. We can just rewire our brains to think a different way. When so-called failure occurs, then we switch it around and think of how we could have learned from that supposed failure. So to think well of yourself and to proclaim it to the universe so that the universe responds in kind. And, you don't want to go out and be an egomaniac, but you do want to show your greatness in your deeds and your generosity to other people and the kindness that you exhibit to others. Also, the words that you speak and the stuff you say to yourself, the words that you speak are just as important as anything else. Be careful the way you think in terms of going down the rabbit hole of negativity, going down the rabbit hole of just allowing the negativity of the world influence you. The only way I can see to escape the negativity of the world is just not relate to it. The only reality is our inner world. The outer world is easily taken into our hearts, and it shouldn't be. The thinking of the world is meant to bring you down. It's about as simple as that. Live in the faith that the whole world is on your side so long as you are true to the best that is in you. As long as you know you're doing the best that you can, there's no reason to believe that anything can break through that barrier. We live in difficult times, and it really does behoove us to be as gracious, as loving, as full of gratitude that we can muster. It has to do with breaking habits. We have to break the habits that we may have incorporated throughout our lifetime. Habits of waking up in the morning and looking at your iPhone. Habits of drinking Coca-Cola instead of water. Habits of thought, word, and deed. And it's important to say no when you know that you should not go along with something, when you have more responsibilities to fulfill than, especially with these online businesses. I'm saying no more and more because I have to accomplish these tasks that are before me in a way that is imbued with love. And I have to write my email sequences with love, not fear. A lot of the online advertising is filled with fear. And what we are doing is creating atmospheres of love, love, love. And that's the new paradigm of salesmanship, saleswomanship, salespeopleship, and the new paradigm of human consciousness is what we need to strive for. So the Optimist creed is to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. It's to talk only health, happiness, and prosperity to those you meet out in the world. To make all your friends feel that there is something very valuable about them and worthwhile. They are worthwhile human beings. And look at the sunny side of everything, like Pollyanna did. And make your optimism come true. Make it come true. To think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best. To be just as enthusiastic about other people's success as you are about your own. And don't forget to celebrate every little success that comes your way. To forget the mistakes of the past and press forward on the great achievements of the future. Wear a cheerful expression. Be cheerful at all times. Cheerfulness is one of the greatest attitudes you can take into your relationships. Be cheerful, be loving, and allow other people to be who they are. To give so much time on improving yourself that there is no time to criticize others. And to be too large for worry, to be too noble for anger, and too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. And to think well of yourself, and to proclaim this fact to the world, and not in loud words, but in great deeds. So it's your actions that show who you are as a human being. And to live in the faith that the whole world is on your side, as long as you are true to the best that is in you. So there's going to be a video that shows up here. Take a look at that. Please comment. The Dr. Jean Houston course work will drop tomorrow, and we'll continue with that. She would agree with everything I'm saying here, of course, because optimism is actually the seed that grows into the acorn seed that grows into the oak tree is what optimism is. Thank you.